Hello, hello, hello. It is a new year. Let me get some music going. Some little music. I will turn it down in a second. I apologize if that was very loud. But now we have some background music, so I'm going to have that going. Hi, guys. It's been a minute. I thought I was going to be doing like 2 live streams a week for all of December, kind of like, what do they call that? Like when people do like the Christmas vlogging. But as you can tell, it did not pan out for me. I was way too busy and way too stressed out. So we're starting off the new year. Hi, everybody. We're starting off first Friday of the new year. We got the live stream going. Hoping to do this for about 45 minutes or so, but we will see. Hello, everybody. So yeah, I'm just picking up an old whip here, but I thought I'd just come on here, talk with you guys, give you guys any updates, answer any questions. Andrea said this week felt so long. It's funny because for me, for Jordan and I, we were both talking last night, like this week went by way too fast. Like there's just not enough hours in a day. So that kind of just gives you an idea of where my mental space is at. Like I feel great. I was actually pretty, I don't want to say sick. I was having really bad congestion for like the last, I don't even know, like week and a half. And then like 4 or 5 days ago, I felt really, really sick. Just like kind of felt like the flu, and then it just went away. So I've been trying to like recoup in like the last 2 days. I've been trying to just get back into YouTube and filming and editing. So yeah, here we are. Oh, and yes, that's something I wanted to talk about was the community patchwork project. It's still going on. So if you guys need the shipping address to send in some patches, I literally have my new PO box listed in every single video at the very top of the description box. So if you guys just go click on literally any video that I've posted like in the last month, any recent video, my shipping address is listed in the description. But yeah, it's still going on. Originally, it was scheduled to commence, like I wanted to say the last day to send in patches is February 1st. But I am thinking of extending my PO box maybe by like a month or so. So I'm hoping that you guys can send stuff in, and I hope that, yeah, I hope that gives you guys enough time. I still need to go into my PO box place, but I have a feeling when I fill out paperwork to like get like a PO box, when my time comes, like when my contract closes with them, I'm pretty sure that the address I have on file, like my personal address, they will redirect mail to me. So no guarantees. I have to double check with them. But sorry, the music is kind of loud. But in the event that the PO box thing shuts down and I don't have like a spot there anymore, I'm pretty sure that they said if packages are still arriving late or whatever, they will redirect mail to me. So in theory, I should still be getting, oops, did I skip something? I did. In theory, I should still be getting all the packages, regardless of how late you guys send them in. But yeah, just to recap, Patchwork project number 2 is happening. 5-inch by 5-inch squares. You can send in as many or as little as you guys would like with whatever weight of yarn. You could use sport weight yarn and make it really tight and crazy, or you could use really thick, chunky yarn, completely up to you. You can put whatever cute design or solid color, whatever you guys want, literally, on the patch. And then, yeah, depending on how many come in the mail, I feel like I'm like all over the place. When I made the little patchwork project announcement on the Instagram Reels, I said cardigan. I hope you guys caught like the asterisk though. I was like Patchwork project because this year I would like to make something different. I want to change it up a little bit. So I'm hoping to do a blanket, just like a big blanket. I feel like that's a really fun way to just showcase everybody's patches. That way, you know, one patch isn't hidden underneath the arm or on the backside, like you guys will see everything on the blanket. Sorry, Jordan just came home. Mowgli! Jordan just came home, so he's barking like crazy. But yeah, it's going on right now. Feel free to send them in. And like I was trying to say, depending on how many patches I get, I might be able to do a giveaway, but we will see. And I don't know what the giveaway item will be, but the first thing I want to make is a blanket. It's so much easier to just photograph like that and show you guys everybody's patches. But just like last year, I will be doing like an unboxing of everybody's patches. So I will get to show off everybody's work. Hello. 2, 3, 4, 5. Hey. Hi. Do you have a long day? Well, the blankets are washed. You can go take a nap. You smell good. Yeah.
Jamaican.
Skirt.
Oh, the
Finish
same
it.
one.
Yeah, I'm just trying to finish it. I only need a couple rows. I'll try it on.
I got out the car. Yeah, I got a bunch of stuff.
Camera stuff or shoe stuff?
A bunch of...
1, 2, 1, 2. Oh, Amy said she likes my nails. Thank you. They weren't really Christmas nails, but kind of because it's red, but I wanted to get some like Frenchy tips this time. But it's almost time to get new ones because they're kind of growing out. But thank you. I appreciate you. Marin's here. Hi, Marin. Marin and Pauline. Hi, guys. Hello, Jordan. Yeah, I think the blanket would be a good change of pace. Like as fun as the cardigan was to make, I do want to switch it up a little bit this year. We don't want to be repeating the same thing. So hopefully a blanket. At the moment, I still need to, like I said, I have to go to my P.O. box and check it and stuff. I usually check it about once a week. But the last like 2 times that I went in there, they said I didn't have any packages. So I was like, okay, I'm going to slow down and like not waste my gas if there's nothing there. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Was the softbox for something at work?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, if you're coming back home from a personal shoot, you're quick.
No. Yeah, I just use the strobe. Like, on the street.
Oh.
Wait.
Ah! 5. Sorry, I'm getting very wrapped up in this skirt, by the way. I'm working on like a scrap yarn project. If you guys recognize this yarn from that crochet top that I made. Yeah, I'm just trying to use up the rest of it because it was $50 for a cake of yarn. So I'm working on this skirt. I have no idea if it's even going to fit me because as you can see, it's knitted. And I don't know how, like I know how to do math and like estimate how many stitches you need. But when it comes to like body tight, like bodycon things, I can never estimate right how many stitches to cast on. So this skirt is inspired by Art by Cara Lee's over on Instagram. Yeah, it's just like a little mini skirt, and I'm trying to add just a little bit of like a frilly, it might be too much. I think it's like too frilly. I was trying to add like a little bit of a frill hem. I think I overdid it, but it's cute either way. So trying to finish it up. Just this little skirt thing right here took me probably like 3 weeks on and off to knit. It took me so long. So I'm just trying to finish it because it's been going on for like over a month and a half now.
This might be a good thing.
I just made it. And I've been trying to call the dentist office. I've called them 3 times today and they're not answering the phones. And I'm just trying to make a freaking appointment and they're not answering. And when I get the answering machine, they say, hi, our office hours are this to this and our lunch is this to this. And I'm calling each time in their right window, but they're not answering. So I left a message.
Oh, just probably busy.
New year, new teeth.
Oh,
Something like that.
ugly.
Yeah, I'm really excited to do sorry, I'm all over the place. I'm really excited to do the patch unboxings. I feel like that is probably the most fun part because it's like Christmas all over again. Like I'm opening them up. I have no idea what you guys are going to come up with. So yeah, at the moment, I actually only have 2 packages, which is why I say, depending how many I receive, I can do a giveaway. But I think I've been announcing it for, oh yeah, like almost a month and a half now. I'm sure you guys are still working on them, so I'm not really too worried. But at the moment, I only have 2 packages that have come in. So I'm going to check it again soon. I meant to go today. As you know, the day got away from me. I have been editing and cleaning the house today and just trying to find some sanity. But back to crochet. I'm really excited for that. I can't wait to see what you guys send in. We're off to a good start, though, for January. So hopefully I can have this little skirt here done today. I said that like 3 days ago, and then I put it off again. So I do want to finish this up. On a different note, though, oh gosh. So I know the last time I came to the live stream, I was telling you guys how I had so many videos filmed and had to edit them all. Slowly, I have been getting through all of them and posting them on YouTube. So now that I feel like a little bit more caught back up, I have been working on some new projects. And I have a lot of other projects that I want to film and show you guys. So January is going to be really fun. I know we're already a week into it, but yeah, a lot of new projects. I do plan on filming a couple new videos using the knitting machine. Okay, I've been making beanies like crazy. And the other day I was just kind of experimenting with some spare yarn and I made an entire maxi skirt in under 3 hours and I stitched the whole thing together. And I should have brought it on the live stream to show you guys, but it's in the bedroom right now. But that knitting machine is so fun. And that was my first time making like panels. So I learned how to make panels. One, two, three, four. Huh? We got biscuit! Oh, Mowgli's excited. Fishy?
No.
Oh. Oh. $10?
Right.
Okay. Mowgli, what else did he get? Show me. Give, Mowgli, give.
They do half shrimp, half trifle.
Oh. Yeah. I wasn't even thinking that the meat was for the tacos, but I'm so down. I'm so down. Same seasoning? Down. Totally down. You look rough. Baby's mental okay?
Yeah.
Hey! Oh yeah, so somebody's asked me how many I've received. I don't know exactly how many patches I've received because I don't like to open the package before the unboxing video, but I have 2 packages at the moment, and the tentative cutoff date to send in your package, the very last day to send them in is February 1st, because at the moment my PO box contract closes on February 22nd. So in case you guys are shipping long distance international, that can typically take between 2 to 3 weeks to arrive. Especially like with me on my small business, like sending packages to other countries, it does take about 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks for them to arrive. So if you can send them in, the sooner is probably the smarter bet. Is my music still going? It is still going. Sorry, guys. Somebody's gonna go shop at Joann for some of the yarn that I recommended. You should for sure get that Lion Brand. How am I doing this stitch? That Lion Brand Scarfy Light. That stuff is so nice. I actually want to use some of my spare Scarfy Light yarn to like try to make another beanie with it. But we will see. I've been wanting to make that for several days, but I just got other things on the to-do list. So yeah, I'm really excited to make some, I guess you could say tutorials with the knitting machine. But to start off, because I'm still learning, they'll probably just be like knit with me's or craft with me's. But I do want to make like a midi dress or a midi skirt. And then of course I do want to make some like really quick jumpers or sweaters with the knitting machine as well. I have some yarn already set aside for that. So a lot of fun content coming with the knitting machine. For like 50, 60 bucks on things like Amazon. They might also have a website, but I saw it on Amazon and it's like 50, 60 bucks. It's such, I feel like it's worth the money for sure. Just because you can make so many things with it. Bye. Yeah, I was thinking, I think on the waist, this skirt is going to be fine. What I'm worried about more so is if I made it too wide for like my hips, because I did want this to like stretch. So this is more of like a hip issue, but we'll see. Because the waist is down here. And I figured if the waist was too big, I was just going to use an I-cord and like cinch it together with the I-cord so you can have like a little cute bow in the front. But we shall see. I will troubleshoot when I get there. Still have at least a couple more rows to do on the frilly little hem section before I actually try it on. So we'll see. I guess I could have tried this on before I started adding the little frill hem, but I don't know what it is. I like to kind of not try things on sometimes. I just like to surprise myself and see like the finished product. Because I mean, it's like at that point, I already knitted it. There's no going back. So whatever it's gonna be is what it's gonna be. Amara, you remembered. Yes, my birthday is next week, actually. So it's coming up quick. I'm getting old. It's Capricorn season, my friends. Brooke's here. Oh, I love seeing returning people. It's so fun. And Grace. Hello, hello. Crocheting with acrylic nails is pretty much the same as not. I thought when I got them it was going to be hard. I would say like the very first day that I had the acrylics on, it was like, it felt funky. But now that I've been having nails for like the last 6 months or 5 months, something like that, um, it's literally the same. I would say I actually struggle more with acrylic nails outside of crafting, um, just because it's really hard to like pick up stuff. So like if I'm trying to pick up a darning needle, I have to like slide it off of a table or like stick things like to my hand to pick them up or like stick them to my finger because I can't like pick them up. Opening packages is freaking difficult. Um, yeah, it's kind of a mission. I actually jammed. I jammed my finger earlier today in the shower. I don't even know how it happened, but I was like, I used like a washcloth and I was rubbing with the washcloth and like my nail like bent, like I got caught on the thing and like it bent inward and I was going really fast. Not hard, but I was going fast. And I was just like in excruciating pain for like, sorry, give me a moment. Yeah, I was just in like excruciating pain with my finger in the shower for like a minute. So I was struggling and it feels a little bruised. But other than that, acrylics are fun. I like them. I like having them on. I didn't think I was going to have them for this long. And I just keep getting them done again because I love them. And it's like a little bit of self care. I feel like for me too, it's a nice way to kind of like step up the videos just a little bit because like when I do tutorials, my hands are literally just always in camera. Um, and I've never been like a big nail girl before, but I feel like it looks really nice to look at. Like when I'm editing the videos, I'm like, wow, this looks so much nicer. Like when you see my hands and I'm crocheting than when I had like crusty, musty, dusty, nasty nails, you know? So I like having them and they're not too hard to like learn how to work with. Where did that music go? Says she's still going. But is she? I don't think she is. There is the music. I already took care of the spammer, y'all. I'm on it. And I'm sure Amara helped me too. But I try to be quick about annoying spammers. So, hey, yeah, see, I reported them and Amara deleted the messages. Teamwork right there. But yeah, do you guys have any? I don't know. I don't even know what to talk about right now. I feel like brand new at this. I talked about the patchwork project. I talked about the knitting machine. But yeah, oh my gosh. So yeah, like I was saying, there's so many things I want to make with that knitting machine. Yeah, I cannot believe I made a maxi skirt. I made it in like literally just a few hours. I had some I had like one cake of Karen Cloud cakes, and I was like, I'm gonna just I don't want to use my pretty yarn and like waste it because the yarn that I have not seen that colorway in stores since I bought it. So I didn't want to waste and like learn on the perfect yarn. So I learned using the cloud cakes and it went so smooth. I literally made 2 panels and sewed them together. I didn't drop any stitches. It was like I didn't increase or miss a stitch. I just made straight panels. I was actually very impressed. So yeah, I feel like I could film that video in a day and you guys can see what I make. And hopefully it can inspire you guys to make some stuff using panels because up until this point, I've literally just been making like 30 beanies on my machine. But then after the skirt or the dress, whatever I end up making, I also want to make some sweaters. I feel like I could also make a sweater within a day. I feel like the longest part would be like stitching them together, but Amara is asking for goals for 2023. So at the moment, for the most part, I want to keep some of my personal goals to myself. Um, this is kind of like a super long story, but I'll try to sum it up. I used to, I think, like to share like big goals and plans with people, and I feel like certain things that you can share. But I was listening to this one creative person, and they were mentioning how the issue with like sharing like big goals and stuff is that when you share like, oh, I want to do this, or I plan on doing this, or I'm shooting for this, it's not a bad thing, but it's like people give you like instant gratification, like, oh wow, that's such a cool idea, or oh wow, that's such good job, go for that. And then it's like you haven't even done it yet, and people are already like praising you for it. And the bad side to that is that you almost like get like this high off of the instant gratitude of gratification of people like praising you for wanting to do something big. And that's something I don't want to do is I don't want to just get like a high off of telling you guys cool things I want to do and then I don't do them. So I think for now, some of them I will keep to myself. And then when I get close to executing or I do execute, I will inform you all. But besides big plans, some creative stuff, as you're asking, some creative plans that I do want to do. I want to get into pottery. I really want to try and like expand my creative assets, not just to clothing making. But yeah, I want to like learn how to throw some, I don't know, pottery stuff, make some ceramics, and I feel like that'd be a really cool outlet because I can still use my hands. And then what was the other thing? Oh, I also want to get into rug tufting really, really bad. Like I've been wanting to do that for over a year now. I think just because I get so caught up doing other crafts and whatnot. And I already know how to do like crochet and knitting to an extent that it's easy for me to pick it up and get something done versus tufting. It's like I have to learn the thing all over again because I've never done it before. And also the guns are like 200, $300 just for like the tufting gun. So it's like you got to spend money on that. And then, you know, like the big stands, the big, I don't know, canvas stands. But regardless, I really do want to try out tufting because not only can you make rugs, you can make like wall art. So those are like some creative avenues I want to branch out into and give a try. But there was something else. Oh, okay. I guess it's not really, I guess one goal or something I can share with you guys. And it's not even that big, but I would like to learn the basics of machine knit garments and not the circular knitting machines that I have now, but like the old school vintage, like Brother or Toyota machines where you like. I've been watching some videos on YouTube, and that is a whole world and language. Crazy. My jaw was actually dropping. I was like, what is she saying right now? what is she doing? She's moving stitches and crazy, crazy. So as much as I could probably learn from YouTube, I think it'd be cool or it'd be more beneficial to find somebody and pay them for their time for them to teach machine knitting. But that's going to take a lot of time and a lot of practice. But I feel, yeah, I feel like it'd be really beneficial and another really great creative outlet. So there's some creative things that I do want to get into. Pauline says they've been doing ceramics. Jealous. Like I've never thrown something before and like shaped something before. I think the closest thing I've ever done was go to, it's like, I don't even know the name of it. It's like a kid's place, but they already have like the mugs or the cups for you, and all you do is paint on them. But I want to like get my hands dirty and shape them and make weird, asymmetrical, avant-garde looking items. I think it'd be so fun. But yeah, those are just some creative things I would love to get into. Of course, a ton of other crochet stuff. I have so much yarn right now and so many videos that I want to film, but one day at a time. Yeah, I'm still kind of riding the knitting machine high, so I'm going to let that go for a couple weeks, get it out of my system, come back to crocheting. Yeah. Yeah, so many of you guys also want to do the hand knitting machine. So cool. So cool. I watched like 30 minutes of a video yesterday and I was just like, what is she doing now? I'm like, huh? What is this? What's this tool? What's she doing? She's like explaining. I'm just like completely out of the loop. But I was in awe regardless. I was like, that is so cool. It's a whole language, a whole other world. And she was so good at it. Oh yeah, I can only imagine how annoying it is to use the industrial knitting machines. Like again, as I was watching it, I was like, it's cool because you do get a finished garment out of it, but it looked so ridiculously tedious, like even more tedious than knitting on needles is. Like if you transfer one like little stitch wrong or you drop it as you're like shifting from like ribbing to stockinette, like I can only imagine how frustrating it is. And also like the whole tension thing, the tension on the machine knit it looked like a beast. So yeah, I can only imagine. But regardless, I think it is a beautiful skill. I think it's very rare, and I would love to just learn a little bit about it. But I will make it. I don't want to set a time limit for myself and then feel like I'm forcing it. But I would love, on a different note, I wanna hopefully say, by like maybe like March, April, or May, that I will have purchased a tufting gun and try one thing. Obviously, I want to make a lot, but I want to give myself enough time to complete at least some of the projects that I have in mind. And then hopefully, once I feel relieved of my crochet anxieties, I can start to dabble into the tufting. Frog and knots. said, would you ever do a video showing your yarn stash or a yarn organizational video? I already have 2 on my channel. So if you want to see that, you can. I think the last time I filmed one was like 6 months ago. 6 or 5 months ago. So yeah, I was like organizing my yarn stash. At the moment, I don't know if I will be filming another one until I move. And I don't know when that is yet, but I already have 2 on my channel. So if you want to watch those, I do go over some of the yarn that I've been hoarding, some of my favorites. Why does my music keep doing that? I feel like right now, if I were to film a yarn stash video, I think it would just give me anxiety because, like I said, the amount of yarn that I have at the moment, it's all over my house because I don't have anywhere else to store it. I've done my best actually to condense, but I've got yarn in the closet and underneath the bed, just bags of it. And yeah, I feel like if I were to go and pull everything out, it'd give me an anxiety attack seeing the mess and having to put everything back. So yeah. Where am I at? Tell me why this one row is taking me so long. I think that's why I put it down the other day. Because one row of this single strand of mohair takes me probably like an hour. And then I'm over it. Isn't that funny? Like sometimes when I'm towards the end of a project, I can't put it down. And then other times, like right now, I'm like so close to the end, but the ending is so tedious that I feel like I cannot be bothered. But on a different note, I also have another sweater tutorial. I think that one's being posted, I think next week. I think. We shall see. I have a couple different videos, so I need to see which one is posted first. But the sweater tutorial has already been uploaded to my channel. I just need to post it. Speaking of which, if any of my members, YouTube members, only people, channel members, whatever, are here, because that video is already uploaded, I'm going to give you guys access to watch it now before I actually post it public. So yeah, that's part of the YouTube member perks thing. So yeah, I mean, the video will be posted soon, but I figure while it's just sitting there right now, I'm trying to figure out my schedule. I'm just going to give you guys access to it now in case you guys want to start on it. And on a different note, I don't know why I'm thinking of this right now, but I actually got a new package. Where is that? Right there. A new box, a new package of yarn for bear dye yarn. Bear yarn, not just from Joann or something. But I was getting low on my bear yarn stash, so I purchased more, and I decided to buy a couple new fibers that I want to test out and dye with and see if I want to release it on my website. I don't want to say what it is just yet, but let me figure out a new colorway or something to dye with it. And then when I think I get it to a place, I will show you guys the new fiber. But at least the bear yarn, so gorgeous. So I was like, I need that. I'm willing to spend a lot of money on this bear yarn just to like try it out. Amy says, I'm waiting for that sweater. I take it, you know the sweater I'm talking about, the color block one. Oh, I missed it. I missed the stitch. But yeah, that's another really quick and relatively simple sweater tutorial. It's crochet, of course. And yeah, I think the video this time is only like 25 minutes long compared to the last sweater video that I just put out. That one is like 38 minutes long, I think. Or maybe it's like 40 minutes long. It's really long just because I wanted to give as much of an in-depth process and description of how to make your own clothing and how I make the sweater. So every little step, I'm like quadruple explaining everything just so that all the beginners out there can actually use the video too. So because I was so in depth with that one, this next one, it's a little bit quicker. It's definitely not hard by any means to follow. When I edit it, I rewatch videos when I'm editing 20 to 30 times. I don't know if you guys know that, but as I'm editing, I will play through my entire video 20 to 30 times to make sure I've triple checked everything and didn't leave anything out or cut certain things out that I have to. But yeah, I made sure that this next tutorial is still very beginner friendly. But yeah, I'm hoping to have that one out in the next week or so, definitely within January. How am I not at the start of my row yet? I'm still out here doing the same dang stitches. Mm-hmm. We're already coming up at close to 45 minutes. We're getting close. This is a very interesting question. I feel like y'all know it's dangerous to ask me questions because I can talk. I can talk for hours. I will try to explain this as easily as possible. So Caprice Chow said, I was wondering if you could explain what the difference between crochet hook sizes are and what the different sizes do to the clothing. So a general rule of thumb is the thinner the yarn that you're using, you want to use a thinner hook. Likewise, if you're using a very thick and chunky yarn, typically you need to use a thicker, chunkier hook. So those are just very general. Obviously, in my eyes, there are really no rules to crochet, but depending on the type of look fit that you're going for, the hook size does matter. So, quick example, let's take into account just a worsted weight yarn, a standard number 4 weighted yarn. Brands can always vary, but again, just a general rule of thumb, average hook size that you could use for a worsted weight yarn is a 5.5 or a 5.0. The suggested hook size on the pamphlets kind of gives you just I don't even know the right word, a very basic crochet stitch. So again, if you're using a 5.5 with a worsted weight yarn, your stitches will be pretty evenly spaced. You shouldn't have too much of a gap to see through. You can't really see like your skin poking through. At the same time, it won't be too tight of a stitch. Like it won't be so dense and like you can't breathe in it. But take that same worsted weight yarn, and instead of a 5.5, you use a 8.0 or even a 10 millimeter. By sizing your hook up a certain amount, you're going to be creating larger stitches and likewise larger spaces between your stitches. So before the yarn that I used, this is a worsted weight yarn, and I used, I believe, a 5.0 or 5.5 millimeter knitting needles. So they have the same thickness as the crochet ones. So this is what I mean. You have a very general style knit. It's kind of hard for you guys to see, but through my end, when I kind of stretch my work apart just a little bit, there's a ton of sunshine actually coming through the skirt. So it's not super thick and dense. Like I can actually see the computer through my stitches right now. But take the same worsted weight yarn. If I'm going to use a really thick hook size or knitting needle size of like an 8.0 or 10 millimeter, you're going to see a lot more skin. So you're just increasing the size of your stitch, the width of your stitch, and the height of your stitch. And likewise, if you size your hook down from whatever the recommended hook size is, you will be making a very tight knit garment. So again, if I had taken this worsted weight yarn and I had used like a 3.0 knitting needles, I think it would have actually been too tight that I couldn't even work stitches. So that's something to be careful of. But again, with crochet, in my eyes, there's not really rules to it. I almost never pay attention to the pamphlet and what the recommended hook size is. Usually, I'll glance at it to get an idea of what they're telling me they're suggesting for the hook size. But ultimately, you could make a little swatch with whatever hook size that you're interested in. Make a little 2-inch by 2-inch, 4-inch by 4-inch square and see if you like how that's working up. And then from there, size up or size down. Yeah. Amy, hating on my skirt right now. How dare you? You're using triple crochet stitches and they take forever to finish a row, or it looks like you're using triple crochet. Yeah, I'm using a mixture of double and triple crochet. But the first row I did was double, and that still took me freaking forever. So I'd say I have maybe just one more row left and I'm done. I'm ever so very close. Am I? To the start? Where's my work at? Oh, we're getting there. I think it'll be worth it though when I'm done. I think I should have blocked it too, but I think this little bit, taking the time, honestly, it's annoying me right now, but I feel like taking this little bit of a time to make some stitches, some mohair stitches, pay off in the end. See, if you guys are interested, she doesn't have a pattern, but I absolutely adore art by Carolee's creative mind. She gives me a lot of inspiration. So when I had the leftover yarn and I saw they posted a photo of like a little mini skirt, and I was like, done. And I messaged her and I was like, hi, is it okay if I create something that is inspired by you and I post it later on? Because I know certain creators online are not supportive of that. So I just wanted to double check with her. And she was like, yeah, dude, do it, do whatever. I can't wait to see what you make. So yeah, I'm really excited. Really excited to try this on and see how it fits. I'm so close. I just want to stop. And Amy, I'm only teasing. I know you're not hating. I'm just messing with you. But yeah, thank you. It is cute. You're right. The triples are driving me crazy right now. Okay, Caprice. I'm glad my super long ramble. I hope that you genuinely did understand what I was trying to explain. If it's still like a little unclear, I'm sure you could like really quickly Google, like just type in like, for example, put like worsted weight yarn 4 mil versus 8 mil or something. I'm sure there's like little photo examples of people that have made swatches showing how different yarn works up with a larger and a smaller hook size. I've never really Googled it before, but I'm sure if you just tried it, I'm sure there's like some photos of swatches to show you what I'm explaining. But yeah, people here on my channel know that when I'm in the live stream and I see a comment and I start talking about it, I can go on for like 15 minutes on like one comment and just start rambling. I can get too much. I think the coffee's kicking in right now. If you guys have been watching some of my latest videos, y'all know that I have been trying my best to cut back on my caffeine intake. Not because caffeine makes me all wiry and stuff, but I think it was getting to a point where, not that I wasn't enjoying coffee, but I think it just wasn't affecting me the same anymore because I was so used to it. So, believe it or not, I cut down my iced coffee intake to like once every 4 or 5 days. The last time I had an iced coffee was like 3 days ago, 4 days ago. It was Monday. It was the last time I had an iced coffee. So it's my first iced coffee since then. Y'all are probably like, BS, y'all are lying. But I do make iced matchas almost every single day. So instead of starting my morning recently with an iced coffee, I'll start it with an iced matcha, less caffeine. It's like a nice little break from the coffee because then I feel like, what was I trying to say? I think the coffee is hitting me. Oh yeah, it's like a nice little break from the coffee because then when I come back to the coffee, it tastes really good again. So yeah, just trying out new things. I've been doing that for probably like a month now, on and off with the coffee. I still have caffeine, but it's definitely a lot. It's been minimized. Nikki said, could you mention your inspo again? I missed her name. I'm going to type it here. It's Art by Kara B. Hope that helps. But that's Kara over on Instagram. Really cute stuff. I think she can crochet as well, but most of her content is knit stuff. So yeah, she's really sweet, and her stuff, I think what I like about her stuff, and this is like not a diss at all, is that for the most part, her creations are very, what's the right word? They're very simple. Like they're not crazy intricate. Okay, there's not some ridiculously hard lace that it's not hard by any means. She definitely takes her time with her projects, I think in a really positive way. Her creations are very simple, which is what makes them so much more beautiful. Don't get me wrong, I love a crazy piece, but at the end of the day, what am I going to choose to actually wear out and about from my closet? Something simple and something that pairs with everything. So I think what I've noticed is her thing is she'll make very simple, basic pieces, but she'll use really funky yarn. And that is something that I love doing. So she's got sweaters, I think she has cardigans. She does a lot of shruggies. But again, it's not just like solid color. She uses a lot of Noro yarn. So it makes that shruggy or whatever, like crazy color. Yeah, it's beautiful. Go check her out. You're welcome for posting her name. Yeah, go check her out. She deserves all the love. Do you have any project ideas for 4 skeins of Big Twist? It depends what the weight of the yarn is. See, for me, I get really particular. One, what's the weight of the yarn? And what is the fiber content? And then once you kind of have those two, you can kind of figure out what to make with them. But 4 skeins is pretty general. It also kind of depends the yardage. So if you have I don't know, you can honestly make so many things. If you've got like 1,600 yards of like a worsted weight yarn, you could make a sweater, you could make a cardigan, you could make like a little throw blanket for your bedroom or for your couch. Um, if you only have less, like 1,000 or 900 yards or something, shoot, I mean, there's so many things you can make. I think right now, because it's still cozy and cold, I'm still on the sweater kick, sweater cozy vibe kick. So that's what I would say. But it depends. If you're not a big clothing wear, if you're more of like home decor or plushies or something, you could honestly make anything. 4 skeins is a lot to go off of. Amara said, "Hi, new people." I missed a comment. Where did it go? I like this comment. Nikki said, "Less is more." I agree. Keeping handmade pieces that way allows for more wearability, in my opinion. Yeah. As much as I love a funky piece, do not get me wrong, I'm still on that vibe of making like crazy, funky, one of a kind, off the wall pieces. I will never stop making them. But day to day, I prefer a basic piece, very simple, basic piece. Because then I can wear 'em with a skirt. I could wear it over a dress, whatever it is. I could, doesn't matter really what your outfit is. Basic can go with everything versus a really crazy, funky piece. You can only wear it with like certain things in your wardrobe. And then you're less likely to actually pick it up and wear it. And I have a bad habit of creating things and then just storing them in my closet for months on end and forgetting that it's there. So for me, the more simple, the better. Hello, all these new people. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, I've noticed that my channel has been growing, so I'm sure there's a ton of new subscribers here and friends that I've never seen before. So welcome. These are how my live streams go. I'm very chatty Cathy. Usually if I'm on a live stream, you're gonna want to pick up a project and probably just listen to me ramble. So that's usually how my live streams go. But to all the new people out there, if you are interested, I am hosting a community patchwork project. Closing last day to send in patches tentatively is February 1st. My shipping P.O. box is listed in all of my videos at the very top of the description. And the rules are very simple: 5-inch by 5-inch squares, any weight, any color, any design. As long as it is 5 inches by 5 inches, you can send them in. You can send in 1, 3, 5, 10. It doesn't matter. It's up to you. And at the very end, when I collect everybody's patches, I'm going to unbox them all, do a huge haul video, show off everybody's squares, and then ultimately I will assemble them all, mesh them up, and hopefully make a blanket, something of the sort, just with everybody's squares. So really fun. Amy, I'm dead. Very laid back here at Erin's Lives. I appreciate you. Now I'm starting to get the low of the coffee because now I'm starting to get a little sleepy. There's 80 people here right now. That's kind of crazy. But yeah, welcome all these new people. I feel like I noticed like in the last month or 2 months, I've gotten like 4 or 6,000 new subscribers, something like that. And I'm just like, who are all these new people? Come say hi in the live streams. If this is your first time joining, feel free to say hello. Tell me your name. It'd be fun if you guys could just tell me what country you guys are from, or if you're from the US, what state. No super personal information. Let's keep it safe here on the internet. But yeah, really fun stuff. Really fun stuff coming. As always, new videos, new tutorials. Literally, that machine. You see how I'm not crocheting right now? That's how much I don't want to finish it right now. But that machine. I've also been posting a bunch of beanies over on my Instagram. And I had a bunch of custom orders come in. So I was finishing those up the last 2 weeks. So fun. Ooh, somebody's from New York City. How fun. Another spring onion new subscriber from Germany. Welcome. Hello. How fun. Lillian from the UK. Amy, you're so supportive. I love it. I should make you a mod. You're always on here too. Okay. We're coming up on an hour. Actually, we just hit an hour. So try to say or answer a few more questions. So this is probably a question I'm going to have to discuss maybe more on the next live stream or maybe in a future video. But Nikki is asking, how do you go about creating pieces without a pattern? If you've noticed, long answer to short, if you've noticed on my channel, a lot of my tutorials are used with a very basic stitch. So I will use one type of stitch for the entire project. Again, very basic, very simple, but that allows for me to focus more on the shape of a garment or the fit of a garment rather than trying to put a really crazy detail throughout the whole piece. Typically, I have an idea of what I want to make, whether that is a sweater, a dress, a cardigan, a skirt, what have you. And I will test out different stitches. For example, a double crochet. We all know what that looks like, or a half double crochet. In my most recent video, I used an extended half double crochet, which I hadn't done in a really long time, but those are fun. It's like a little twist on a very basic stitch, a very fundamental stitch. But I just pick out really simple stitches and I will typically use that for the entire project. And then as it goes for like the rest of the body and sizing and stuff, I hate to say it's trial and error, but I will really hold things up to my body and just see if I like how that looks. So way back when I made that backless crop top tutorial, should probably do an updated one, huh? It's been a minute. But way back when I did that topless, whoa. I don't want to get demonetized. Backless. I've done that backless crop top. As I was shaping the neckline, I was literally holding up to my body. So if you haven't seen it, all I did was start off with a very basic chain, foundation, regular chain, and I held it up to my chest. And I was like, is this long enough to cover the top section of the lady chesticles? And I was like, okay, that looks good. And then ever so slowly, I started adding increases on the corners. Every row, increase. And then I would just, after a few rows, hold it up to my body, stretch it a little bit, see if I liked how it was looking on me. And if it wasn't covering enough, tear out some rows, add more increases, or vice versa. If it's too much and it's digging into your armpits, tear out the rows, add less increases. But for me, shaping is really all about physically holding it up to your body and seeing if you like how it looks on you. Because even though I might make a tutorial and I like how it looks on me, you might not like how it looks on you, and you're going to have to tweak the pattern and change it. So a ton of questions I get on a lot of my videos are, how do you make this pattern in a bigger size? Like, for example, if I'm a woman's small or a woman's medium, people ask, how do I make this in an extra large? How do I make this in a double XL or something? And a lot of times, the best advice I can give you is to hold it up to your body. If you're making a chain, say for a panel, like on a sweater, if you're making a chain, okay, say your body is as wide as a sweater. If you're making a chain for a sweater and you hold it up to your body and it's only this wide on you, and you know your stomach and your sides of your body come out this far, then you know it's not wide enough. You need to add more rows or more stitches to get to that right width. And a lot of times that's what I do. Like with the sweater tutorial, I didn't know how many stitches I was going to need before I was filming. I start the tutorial and I have an estimate of what I think it's going to be. And I hold it up to my body and I'm like, it's still too small. Let me add 5 more chains, or let me add 10 more chains. And then I'll go back and I'll add the right amount of stitches. check it again, hold it on my body. Oh, now it's wide enough. Okay, now I know roughly how many stitches I need for my body size. And then from there, you just keep going. You add rows to it, but that's generally how I do most of my patterns or most of my creations is whatever you're making, you're not going to know if it's going to fit you and if you like the style and the drape unless you physically test it out on yourself. Like, for example, probably not the best move, but I made this without trying it on, and this was tricky because it's knitting. I tried to try it on, but when this is casted on knitting needles, the circular knitting needles, I couldn't get the needles. How do I phrase this? My hips are wider than the circular knitting needles. So I couldn't physically pull this up over my hips without dropping half of my stitches. So I had to do my best to just kind of eyeball and do a little bit of math stitch wise, which is why knitting for me is so much more difficult. But with crochet, you can just pull your hook out, slap it on, see if it's going to fit you, see if you like the style, and then go from there. So that is my 10-minute explanation on creating things without a pattern. Is just trial and error. Think about what you want. If you want lace or something, go for it. There's a ton of stitch books out there that have different lace patterns. Make little swatches. See if you like how they work up. See if they're easy for you to understand or if they're way too complicated and difficult. And then try to figure out how to implement that into a garment. But yeah, I think for me, patterns are fun and all, but I don't like feeling restricted. I feel like if I have a pattern in front of me, I feel obligated to follow it directly. And if I miss a stitch or I do something wrong, I feel like I've messed up the whole thing and it's not perfect. But when I'm just creating something on my own without a pattern, I feel like I can do whatever I want and there's no rules. So if I miss a stitch or I shape something different, I don't feel like, oh, I'm messing it up, like it's up to me to create it versus a pattern. I feel inclined to follow it step by step and it kind of takes the fun out of it for me. That's just me though. Everybody's different. Everybody's different. There's been some patterns that I followed that I loved and they were easy and I got a really fun garment out of it. But I think there's just so many things that I want to make pattern wise and on my own that it's just more fun for me at the moment to just make things on the go and on the whim. But yeah. See, all my new subscribers is what I'm talking about when I say that I be rambling for way too yarn. Yarn? Way too long. Yes, Amy. That was what I was hoping for, was that because knit is so much more stretchy that I could get away with it. But that's also what I was thinking is because knit is so stretchy, I was like, did I make it too wide? Because I would prefer to make it a little bit too small and then just stretch into it. But that's the thing is like if this hits my hips like at just the right point, like if it, I want it to stretch. I don't want it to just lie like this in my body, which is why I was like, did I make it too big? But we're not going to know until I finish it up, huh? So I might as well finish it up. Who's judging me for talking with my hands? For me, talking with my hands helps a lot and it makes me feel like I know what I'm saying and I feel like I'm getting my point across more. If I just sit here, I feel very boring. So I'm gonna do whatever I want with my hands. If you're a hater, I'm sorry. Somebody's on the last row with the project that you're working on. See, now I should be on the last row. I've got this much until I'm at the start of my row. Amy. Amy. I don't know if I'm going to get it done today. My patience is very thin with this right now. See, if I was making a beanie on my knitting machine, I'd be done by now. By the way, those take me from casting on to weaving in my ends. Those take me like 35 minutes, 30 minutes. It's crazy fast. And like I said, that skirt took me like 3 hours from start to finish. But because I have some leftover Yarbo cookie cake yarn in other colorways, I think I'm going to use some of that first to make like a sweater or even a skirt first. I definitely want to buy some more Noro yarn and make a sweater out of it. But I do need to be conscious with my yarn spending. So somebody asked if I got done editing the gorgeous sweater from a while back. It looks like you have not been on my channel recently because girl, that stuff has been up for like 3 weeks. Go check it out. Yes, I finished it. It is up. It is live. It's like a 38 or 40-minute long tutorial. Took me forever because, as I mentioned earlier, when I edit videos, I have to watch the whole thing through 20 to 30 times. So I was watching a 40-minute video over and over and over and over and over. So that's why it took me so long. But it's live. It's on my channel. It's crazy. That video was posted like less than 3 weeks ago, about 3 weeks, something like that, maybe 2. And it already has like 70,000 views. I was like, oh my God, everybody is trying to crochet something for Christmas right now. Everybody's in their cozy feels. And I'm not mad at it. So yeah, another sweater tutorial is on its way. And then I have missed so much doing like crochet with me's or knit with me's just because I've been doing so many freaking tutorials. So I do want to get back more into like a relaxed style video, more casual, not so instructive. Those are also a little bit more fun to edit as well because I as well don't want to be looking at my crochet hands, just my hands crocheting for 40 minutes, you know? I like the casual videos where I can talk to you guys and explain my thought process and the light is hitting me weird. So okay, last question before I go. I'm like reading multiple comments at one time. I'm sorry. What yarn are you liking using your knitting machine now? I've heard mixed reviews on this, but so far, with my experience in just like 3 weeks, 2 weeks, the knitting machines, the favorite weight yarn that works the best on the machine is a DK weight yarn or a sport weight. I've tried using, it was interesting. I used one type of red heart. It was red heart ombre. And on the tightest tension, it was so difficult to turn the machine. I thought I was going to break it. It was like cranking. It was like, it was so hard. So with a worsted weight yarn, you have to put it on like the lightest tension possible, and it still kind of fights you. Granted, it will work. So I would have to say at the moment, my favorite weight yarn, the most painless, is a DK, light DK or a heavier DK. But the heavier you go with that knitting machine, the harder it is to turn and the louder it is. It's so like obnoxious. But when I use like a really light DK, very lightweight DK, it turns like butter and you don't even hear it. So it is something to keep in mind. The thicker weighted yarn, it's not happy with. I'm sure some people out there have made a chunky weight yarn or whatever work on the knitting machine. But I personally don't want to do that. One, I don't want to break the machine. And then I also just, It's too much sweat. Like I'm actually sweating when I'm turning the crank. So yeah. Somebody else asked, "Hi, Erin. I hope you're doing well." I am doing well. I'm a little tired, but I am in good spirits. I was wondering what you do to take breaks from crocheting. Some days I can work for hours, and then sometimes my hands feel like they're going to fall off. Because I have a lot going on, like because I'm not just crocheting, I have other things to work on. So if I'm not crocheting, I'm usually editing something on my computer, dyeing yarn, creating the resin hooks, packaging or like there's always something else for me to be doing, and I mean always. Uh, I don't usually take breaks. I'm always usually like doing something. So for me, because this is like my business, if I'm not crocheting or knitting, I'm usually on my computer answering emails, editing a video on Final Cut, dyeing yarn, which I need to dye yarn tomorrow, or I'm constantly pouring hooks, grinding hooks, glossing hooks, cleaning. There's always something to do. Um, yeah, I've heard some people mention that they wanted me to put together a video on how to avoid hand pain when crocheting, and I have to admit that for the most part, unless I'm using a really chunky or thick yarn, I don't get hand pains. Um, I think a lot of it has to do with the way that I hold my hook and my yarn. I know a lot of you guys, I've heard a lot of people that choose to knit, choose to crochet with the knife hold, and I've tried it. I can't, it's just not how I learned. But holding my hook like this, I personally don't ever really experience wrist pain or hand pain. Um, so I would have to say the only time I feel pain is if I'm crocheting with a thick hook and a thick yarn. So if I have like an 8 millimeter or a 10 millimeter and I'm crocheting with like a number 5 or a number 6, I will get thumb pain. I'll get like lactic acid in my thumb, but my hands never really hurt. So yeah, I don't know if that helps, but maybe try to switch up the way that you hold your hook. So I know so many people have been telling me about the attachment for the electric screwdriver, electric for the knitting machine. I've seen those. I've seen them for years, but I personally, I don't know. I enjoy actually cranking it again if it's not a super chunky yarn, but at the same time, I don't want to risk breaking my machine. I feel like if I put on a really chunky yarn or something and it's hard to hand crank, and then I'm attaching the electric screw to it, I've seen enough videos or read enough things that people say if you are pushing your thing to its limits, it's a plastic knitting machine. Eventually, you're going to snap a needle. You're going to snap a hook. It's plastic. It's going to bend. Um, there was already a point a couple weeks ago. I was making something and I was cranking it so fast. And then the next day, I went to use it and I thought I had bent and like just messed up my machine because it was having a really hard time. So I prefer to just do it by hand. I mean, at that the knitting machine is already so much faster than making a knit garment by hand. I think it's kind of ridiculous to have the electric attachment. Like at that point, you're not even trying to craft anymore. You're just trying to finish a project in like 3 minutes. I don't mind taking 30 minutes to hand crank it. Like if I was trying to make a beanie by hand, that would take me, like for example, this skirt took me like 3 weeks on and off to knit. On the machine, it's going to take me 30 minutes. I feel like it almost takes all the fun out of using the machine if I use the attachment. So I don't mind the 30 minutes of cranking. At least it's a little bit more conscious crafting than just like, I mean, I get it if y'all want to do that. If you guys are just trying to sell beanies or scarves and, crank out projects quick to make a make a quick turnaround on profit. But I'm a crafter. I enjoy the actual act of crafting, so I don't mind it. All right, guys, I'm gonna get going. It's been like 40 minutes past what I said, but I apologize that it took me so long to get on a live stream. I really meant to live stream a lot more often during December, and then you guys just know how life gets. So I'm back, starting off 2023 a little bit stronger than I finished it. Then I finished 2022, and I hope to get on a little bit more of a schedule with live streams at least once a week. Yeah, I'm hoping. But yeah, if you guys want to stay up to date on kind of like my day-to-day-ish life, you can follow me on Instagram. Try to post my stories when I remember, post whips, post what I'm doing. So yeah, usually Instagram sees it first compared to YouTube. So if y'all want to see what I'm up to, feel free. I'm going to get going. We had a huge turnout today. Thanks, guys. I'll be back soon. Love you guys. Bye.